Good luck.
Hallo Freunde. Ich glaube, ich darf nichts mehr sagen, aber ich würde euch ganz herzlich begrüßen zu einer neuen Folge Let's Play Game of Thrones. Wir treffen jetzt auf Cersei. Ich bin gespannt. Und Tyrion. Tyrion. Cool.
You can do this.
Oh, Freunde. Da vorne. Rechts. Richtig cooler Typ. Links. Ja, das ist so eine miese Schlange. Aber ich liebe Cersei irgendwie. Und Tyrion, sofern ich jetzt den Namen nicht falsch sage.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
Hinknien, Kopf runter. Wie knien jetzt hin? Aus
Your
Höflichkeit.
Grace. The girl knows her courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
Das ist die Originalstimme.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is. The girl can speak for her house.
House Forrester's loyalty to the crown never wavers, Your Grace.
I see. And yet, for centuries the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Das ist nicht wahr.
They are noble, not traitors, Your Grace.
Noble? Perhaps once. For a northern house. But now they're merely dead. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Klar.
Yes, Your Grace. Absolutely.
I see. Despite the fact Roose Bolton allied with Walder Frey. If it was me, I'd find it difficult to so quickly forgive the men who killed my father. Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forrester Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Yes, Your Grace.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
There are limits, Your Grace.
Perhaps, but not if your house faces potential ruin.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
Cersei.
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl? If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
Good.
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question.
Boah.
Go on.
Ich wüsste es nicht. Ich weiß es
My
nicht.
loyalties would never conflict,
Alter.
Your Grace.
That's a coward's answer. I will not have my time wasted by a northern girl who thinks she can play games. Who do you choose?
Ach du Scheiße. Wen nehme ich denn? Marjorie King? Oh Gott. Freunde, was machen wir? Was machen wir? Warum sollten wir denn... Wir müssen zum König halten, oder nicht? Sonst kriegen wir richtig Ärger, oder... Alter, das machen wir. Fuck. König und damit Joffrey oder Marjorie? Ich kann Joffrey auf keinen Fall irgendwas schwören. Joffrey,
I
fuck
must
you.
choose Marjorie, Your Grace.
Clearly your handmaiden does not have her priorities straight.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
I'm not quite sure what to make of her. Not surprising, I suppose, for a northern girl, but not very encouraging either. I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your Grace.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss.
Tyrion ist einfach
These
der
would be trying
Beste.
times for your
Der
family, even under the
Allerbeste.
best of circumstances.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
You were brave to declare your loyalty to Lady Marjorie. No doubt she was pleased, but Cersei, she will not soon forget what you said. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining. It certainly wasn't what Cersei was expecting.
I wasn't trying to please her.
I think that was clear to everyone. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard, not her.
You can help my family.
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous. In fact, forget I even suggested such a thing.
I'm sorry, Lord Tyrion, but it's a risk I cannot afford.
I admire your discretion. Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
I hope we meet again.
Nothing would make Cersei happier. Until then, be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Tyrion ist einfach super. Der einzige mit Vernunft von den Lannisters. Oder zumindest von denen, die hier da was zu sagen haben. Oder halt Joffrey kann man komplett vergessen und Cersei ist... Naja, ist halt Cersei.
Mira, I was worried. How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing.
It didn't go very well.
I'm sorry. Cersei is known for being rather difficult. But at least it's over now. Lady Marjorie has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Ah, Sir Jaime. I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour, which I doubt is Dornish for wife.
You'll get us in trouble.
We're just having some fun. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands. Although, marrying a king, I can only imagine what that would be like. Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen?
Was?
He does have a certain look about him.
Was?
And he's always treated
Niemals,
Lady
ey.
Marjorie well.
Joffrey?
I'd be willing to marry, but not Joffrey.
Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. I might even allow you to be my handmaiden.
Joffrey.
Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match! Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing? Well,
We're sorry, my lady. We were just having fun.
this is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was rather disappointed by your display, Mirror. I'm just glad it's over.
Was hätte ich
King's
denn machen
Landing
sollen?
can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
Once they know your true heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you.
Do you agree?
Ach komm, wir sind mal nett.
Once
zu
you
ihr.
are queen, the lords and ladies will do their best to please you.
You learn very quickly. You were brave agreeing to obey the Boltons. That cannot have been easy. I know you must fear what Lord Bolton might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important.
Was denn? Boah, ey, diese Entscheidungen in diesem Spiel sind so schwer, Freunde. Ihr wisst gar nicht, wie schwer ich mich dabei tue. Aber ich komme mit der eigentlich ganz klar, mit der Lady Marjorie, wie auch immer. Deswegen, wir wollen mal so eine Freundin zu ihr sein.
I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
It's about my family.
I trust her.
Komm, ey. Ja, die kann bleiben.
Go on. Ask.
So.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. She thought, if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise. But my mother has left me no choice. She insisted.
Joffrey knows only too well your family fought for the Starks, and now you would have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire?
You can't, my lady. King Joffrey won't like it. Just think how he turned on Lady Sansa.
Please, Lady Marjorie, I beg of you. I fear for my family's safety.
I don't know, Mira. If Cersei were to find out.
Verdammt, ey. Diese Entscheidung, wenig
Don't
Zeit man
let
noch
me
hat.
bully you. You have power over him, Lady Marjorie, as no one else does. Not even his mother.
Ramsay Snow will arrive at Ironrath within the week. I would never ask this of you if it weren't so urgent.
Komm schon.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
Boah, Freunde, man hat so wenig Zeit, ey. Und hier ist auch schon wieder die Folge zu Ende. Ich glaube, die ist recht kurz geworden. Ich bin mir gerade nicht sicher. Boah, was eine Folge. Ich muss gestehen, dass ich teilweise echt verwirrt war mit den Fragen und halt, wie ich darauf reagieren sollte. Manches von, ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob man Cersei irgendwie gut stimmen könnte und gleichzeitig unsere Familie praktisch in Schutz nehmen könnte, weil ich glaube, je nachdem, wie ich hätte da natürlich auch sagen können, ja, ich bin hier voll für den König und Joffrey ist der Beste und so, aber gleichzeitig dann, das wäre für die Forest das, glaube ich, nicht gut gewesen. Und deswegen habe ich versucht, lieber über Lady Marjorie und dann außenrum zu gehen, also dass die irgendwie Einfluss drauf nimmt. Ich glaube, das ist ein bisschen besser gewesen. Weiß ich jetzt nicht genau, könnt ihr mal in die Kommentare schreiben. Krasse Folge. Ich freue mich auf die nächste und ich zock gleich weiter. Ich zock jetzt gerade, glaube ich, schon eine Stunde am Stück oder so. Gehe gleich in die nächste Runde. Wir sehen uns morgen wieder. Ciao.